JONAXEL system wire mesh drawers 6-drawer rack. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to be assembling and reviewing this JONAXEL wire mesh rack with 6 drawers. So this is a 50 by 51 by I think 70 centimeters, and it's got 6 of these wire mesh drawers. Here in Japan, it sells for 8,499 yen, which is about 60 US dollars. In Hong Kong, it's also about the same price. Because of supply chain issues, inflation, and the crazy exchange rates, by the time this comes out, the price has probably gone up. But anyway, that's what it is right now. Basically, it's just steel with some coated wire mesh and a few pieces of plastic here and there. So pretty simple. You're going to definitely need like a rubber mallet or a hammer. It comes with this gray plastic cover that you can use to cover it while you're hitting it with a real hammer so it doesn't totally destroy it. But I already did this one, and I basically destroyed the thing because I was not using a nice hammer. So anyway, I actually went and got a rubber mallet from a 100 yen store here, so should be good enough for this. So it's a little bit noisy putting this together. Definitely don't put it together in an apartment at night with people living downstairs from me because they're going to hate you. I had that happen once. So anyway, in this case, you want to also cover the floor because it's basically like the exposed metal edge when you're first putting it together. So put it on a piece of cardboard or a really thick carpet, and you're going to be hammering straight down into the floor. So if you do it directly on your wood floor, you're going to make a mark if you don't put something in between. You can put wheels on the bottom of this, which you might want to do depending on where you're putting it. And also, as I mentioned, it's stackable, and you also can anchor it to the wall. So if you're going to stack it, you definitely should anchor it to the wall because it's clearly not that stable. If you're not going to be stacking it, I think it's probably safe to not anchor to the wall, depending on what's in there, unless you have a small kid who might want to try climbing it, because it does look like a ladder a little bit. So yeah, it depends on your situation. But I think earthquake-wise, with it like this, if there's something heavy on the bottom, the likelihood that it's going to tip over is pretty low. But obviously, better safe than sorry. So yeah, anchor it. So let me get started, and then I'll do some voiceover to explain a little bit more about this thing while I show you how to put it together. So there's 2 different types of crossbars. One has an indentation up, the other one has an indentation in, and you can see there's a threaded hole in there. So if this one is on the bottom, which is where it's supposed to go, you can screw in this foot, which comes with it, or you can screw in a caster, which IKEA also sells. And if you don't have this in and you're stacking them, then this one can basically fit into there, something like that. Yeah, so that's basically how the 2 fit together. But there's no other kind of... Okay, I just want to voice over myself because I said something wrong. It actually does come with the hardware to clip it together if you stack it. It should be in the same bag as the wall brackets. So it's 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom, so 4 total. Check it out. So you have to actually use the mallet to pound these into those side pieces, which are just basically square metal tubes. And these ribs on here actually fly off, so be careful. You probably want to wear like some safety glasses because when I was pounding, little pieces were actually scraping off. They're really small, but would be annoying if it got in your eye. So don't look at it, or stand back, or wear some safety glasses. And when you're pounding, don't pound directly on here, even with a rubber mallet. It comes with this kind of cap piece, which you can actually fit right on there, and that's the thing you're supposed to be hitting with the hammer. And that's what it looks like when it's brand new, and this is what it looked like when I was done. So I didn't do the most elegant job. You can see I missed a few places, but it actually started cracking here, so be careful. This part thankfully did not crack open, but the support part did. So yeah, you only need to use it, well, I guess 4 times, but to assemble it once and hopefully not again. But obviously having a rubber mallet should make it a lot better. So anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so you want to start with this thing orientated correctly. So this is right side up, which means that this upper rail is pretty close to the top, and the bottom rail is more spaced out from the bottom. So this is going to be the top. So you want to use the piece with the indentation up, and the feet obviously go on that side. So make sure that you use the right cross beam on the right side. So I'm going to get these 2 guys lined up loosely and then start hammering, and make sure that you stay on your pads. Okay, so especially at this beginning when you have no other pieces in, it's extremely wobbly, so be careful. I'm going to tap these in lightly. Okay, so 1 good whack, get each one seated, and then, yeah, so it goes in, as you can see. So in this case, I think just doing left, right, all the way down is probably fine. Don't do all the way down on just one side without getting the other one going. And then repeat on the other side. Yeah, you can see piece of plastic just flew off. Okay, so one side is in, now flip it over, do it again. Okay, I've got all 4 in. Okay, I'm going to do close-up so you can see the plastic flying out. Ready? There goes some. There goes some more. Okay. Okay, now just screw in the feet. The feet are only really important if your floors are uneven and the thing kind of rocks back and forth. And obviously if you're putting the second one on top, then you definitely want to adjust this to make sure that it's not just not creaking, but it's also level. Because if it's not level and you're putting another one on top, it might lean over too much. So just get them screwed in and put them all the way down to the bottom. And if you have a problem, then you can unscrew one side or another a little bit to adjust. Okay, so it's a little bit wasteful, but each one of these drawers comes with their own plastic bag. So you're going to end up with 6 of these. So use them, recycle them, but yeah, kind of wasteful. So as near as I can tell, this is kind of bi-directional. So there is a rib on here, and you can only put it in this way because it's actually not square, it's rectangular, so the 51 by the 50. Obviously you can't stick it in this way, it's too wide, but in this direction it fits. So there's a cutout on one side, and that's the side that the drawers go in on, and the other side is basically the channel all the way to the back. So just go from that side. If you've done this right, this is on the top. If you haven't, it's upside down. So I'm not exactly sure why there's that little lip there, since you have to start behind it, but it doesn't actually keep this thing from sliding out. So once you get it in there, slides in. There's a tab on the back side here, which keeps it from going all the way through. But this one doesn't stop it from sliding all the way out. It just kind of, yeah, it would be much nicer if it caught earlier. So it would stop something like here. But that's already pretty precarious. So anyway, just be careful with this guy. I guess it's good because it's not that hard to take out. Like if you were going to take out the whole drawer of towels or whatever and pack it somewhere else and then put it back in, that's kind of useful, I guess. But just be careful because it could just fall on your foot. Okay, and here you can see all the little plastic pieces that flew off while I was hammering that thing in. This is from basically 2 of them. So yeah, it's not a little bit. Definitely vacuum after you finish. I have to unbox my vacuum cleaner before I can though. And I've still got 2 more to go. Okay, so there you have it. That is the JONAXEL Systems wire mesh drawer set, 6 drawer stack, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not too bad. Price is not too bad. It's not super high. It's not super cheap. Quality-wise seems to be pretty good. It is pretty heavy, just lugging this thing around. So I guess that's good. You don't want it too cheap. You don't want it to fall apart. Like I said, it's a little bit wobbly. Now that I've got 2, you can see it's a little wobbly. These things also seem to pop up. So you might have to pound it once in a while. So yeah, I think it's not going to pop out and fall over or anything. But yeah, just keep an eye on that. It is stackable. I was going to try to stack this, but then I realized like, oh, I have to take the feet out from underneath it. And I'm actually... the stacking is up to here, so it does get pretty tall too. So I can't imagine you're going to want to have to pull out a drawer from way that high too. So, you know, if you have super high closets and a step stool, maybe it's worth it for you, but probably this is pretty good already. Or since it's part of that JONAXEL system, you might put other things, you know, higher up in the closet and just keep these down at the bottom. So any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. If you really want to see like a follow-up after a year or 2, let me know because we'll be keeping them. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.